What's going on, Jets fans? DTereman here with another film breakdown. And this one is going to be different than the other ones that you have seen both on Jet Nation's YouTube channel and my channel. It's different for two reasons. One, we've been watching a lot of college prospects, so we've been breaking down their college all 22. As you can see on your screen, this is a player who was with the Jets in 2024. So we will be breaking down NFL all 22 courtesy of NFL Pro. The second difference in this film breakdown, as you see on the left-hand side of your screen, is I have a couple new tools to help illustrate my points a little bit better and hopefully teach the viewers, you guys, a couple things along the way. So bear with me as we go through the technology together. This is my first session using the pen, but I'm excited to show off the features of what it can do. So the first clip we have is week 3 against the New England Patriots. You see Leonard Taylor here in the 3 technique. I'm going to highlight him here. That's the 3 technique. And for those who are unfamiliar with defensive line alignments and techniques, we can discuss it now real quick. So for defensive linemen, if you line up head up over the center, that's what's called a 0 technique, right? You're just head up with the center. If you are head up with either of the guards, that's known as the 2 technique. Head up with the tackle is called a 4 technique. If you're shading the inside of the tackle, you could be a 4-eye. You could also be a 2-eye, but that's not necessarily the point of this video. And then on the other side where you see Leonard Taylor lining up, you will see the gaps where you're not head up with an offensive lineman. This would be the 1 technique. Where Leonard Taylor III is would be the 3 technique. And then outside of the tackle's outside shoulder would be the 5 technique. And obviously you see Michael Clemens here lined up outside of that. He is what's known as the wide 9, which was very popular in the Robert Saleh defense. So just a little bit of technique talk in case you hear me saying 3 tech, 2 tech, 1 tech, and you're not quite understanding what that means, 0 shade. All those things apply to the illustration right there. So we see Leonard Taylor lined up right here in the 3 technique in the B gap between the left tackle and the left guard. The New York Jets are going to run what's called a TE stunt, which just means the tackle goes first and the end loops around. So this is actually a mirrored concept by the Jets defense, and they're going to run Leonard Taylor III stunting down and Michael Clemens looping around, and then you're going to have on the opposite side Quinnen Williams stunting down and Will McDonald looping around into the A gaps by the center. This is something that the Jets with Saleh and Ulbrich, they ran quite frequently, especially when they did their 3-by-1 isolated defensive fronts. But this is just a mirrored concept by the defense. Leonard Taylor is going to work his way up his stunt arc, and he's going to kind of get stalemated by the left tackle, and then he's going to work back inside and almost occupy the looper lane for Michael Clemens, and he's going to get the sack. McDonald on the other side gets home as well, so this is a big win all around for the Jets defensive line. We'll play it through here. You see the loops for McDonald and Clemens. McDonald and Leonard Taylor III are able to get home. This is the first sack of 2 on Leonard Taylor's 2024 tape. The second clip I have is the Week 5 game in London against the Minnesota Vikings. You're going to see Leonard Taylor. He's lined up in what we'll call the 4-eye. So he is right inside the inside shoulder of the tackle. So that's a 4-eye. Obviously, we saw last play, he was the 3 technique. This play, he is a 4-eye. So that's just a technical term. He's almost head up with the tackle, shaded slightly inside. That's why they throw the eye on at the end. As you also see, Quinnen Williams is in the 4-eye opposite on the left tackle here. And then you have your 2 wide 9 rushers in Solomon Thomas and Will McDonald. On this play, it's actually an interesting one because I didn't see this much from the Jets defensive line, but they run one-on-ones on the outside with Will McDonald and Solomon Thomas occupying the tackles. And then Quinnen Williams is actually going to drop out and play a little bit of zone coverage, peeking to the left side of the screen. So realistically, that's going to leave Leonard Taylor III occupied by all three of these interior linemen. Now, you'd say, wow, okay, I don't think he's going to do much on this clip, but he ends up actually making the play. You're going to see a great push against the center, 56 there, Garrett Bradbury, pushing him straight back into the pocket against Sam Darnold. And then Darnold looks to escape. Taylor grabs him, doesn't let him out of the grasp. Another great sack for Leonard Taylor on film. We'll play it through. Excellent grip strength, able to bring down Darnold. His 1.5 sacks on the season. Unfortunately, they all came very quickly in the season, so you're not going to see many sacks the rest of the way here, but the power against Garrett Bradbury, and we can rewind it and show it again. You see Quinnen drop out there, the tackles occupying the two edge rushers. Basically almost 4 hands on Leonard Taylor, but as the right guard drifts off, you see the power of Leonard Taylor right there, just pushing Bradbury right back into the pocket. Darnold looks, doesn't see anybody open, tries to escape to his right. Leonard Taylor gets off the center block. Look at that grip strength. Just grab the jersey. Don't let go. Sam has nowhere to go but down onto the ground. Great play from Leonard Taylor. The third clip I have is against the first matchup against Buffalo. You're going to see Leonard Taylor here. He is in the 2-eye, so inside the inside shoulder of the guard, 2-eye. He's going to do a great job of swiping the center's left hand away and dipping into the pocket, forcing Allen to escape. I put this one on here specifically because I love the quick wins at the line of scrimmage from all defensive linemen. I think that's something that's very translatable throughout your entire NFL career. And when you win quickly at the line of scrimmage, you impact the play at a multitude of levels. Josh Allen can't read the field properly. He has to escape the pocket early. He's not able to make a good play, and the defense wins for sure. So here's Leonard Taylor. Play it through, just easy swipe on McGovern, forces Josh out of the pocket. Sherwood cleans up the tackle, minimal gain. We'll go back and play it through a little bit slower so you can see just the exact technique he uses. You're going to see him get out of his stance. McGovern waits, shoots with his left hand here. You see his hand go up on Taylor. Taylor's going to use both hands, swipe it away, and now he's got a clean lane at the quarterback. When you're in this position and the center or the interior lineman is falling backwards trying to recover in this manner, you know you've won the play. So Leonard Taylor, instant win, forces Allen out of the pocket. Quinnen there as well. Good cleanup by the second level defender, Jamie Sherwood. So now we've seen 3 good plays against the pass. This one we have Leonard Taylor is here at the 3 technique. And this one looks like a possible stunt again by the 2 defensive tackles this time. It looks like Leonard Taylor and Solomon Thomas do the stunts. And it looks like one is supposed to, you'll see when we play it slow, but Solomon Thomas comes crashing down this way and occupies the center and the left guard. And then Leonard Taylor loops around. So I would consider that, I guess, a TT stunt. The first one we saw was a TE stunt, tackle then end. This one we're seeing tackle and then tackle looper as well. So we'll play it through here. This is a good play for Solomon Thomas as well as Leonard Taylor picking up the run. Play it through. We see Solomon crash. Leonard Taylor loop, get the easy tackle on the ball carrier in the hole. We'll play it back slower. Here we go. You see immediately Solomon is crashing to the left side of the center. He's going to collide with the left guard right there, freeing up Leonard Taylor from the left tackle, and boom. When it's Leonard Taylor versus a running back in the hole, you would hope that number 96 comes away with the tackle more often than not, and he does so here. So 3 good plays against the pass, 1 good play against the run so far for LT3. Again, in the second New England game, you're going to see Leonard Taylor here lined up in the 3 technique. So right in between the tackle and the guard, 3 technique. He's going to do a great job of shooting through the shoulder of the guard on the zone run. So all the offensive linemen are going to kick out this way to their left. And you're going to see Leonard Taylor shoot through here, through the inside shoulder of the guard, and make a good play. Burst to finish, huge stop in the run game. Play it through. Easy shoot through the gap, chase down of the running back. Another good play against the run for Leonard Taylor III. And for this one, I know I've gotten feedback about showing more negative plays for college prospects. I will certainly do that. But when I'm talking about players on the Jets already, I'm going to focus mainly on the positives because this is what I want them to do more of under the coaching staff. And it's not a matter of, oh, Leonard Taylor was an undrafted free agent and here's why. No, he's in the NFL already. Let's focus on the things that he does well and maximize on those opportunities for him. So clip 6, now we have against the Houston Texans. This was the Halloween game, the famous Garrett Wilson catch. And you're going to see Leonard Taylor again at the 3 technique right here between the tackle and the guard. And he's going to shove the left arm of the left guard away for an easy tackle for loss. So I believe this left guard here is Ben Scruggs from Cincinnati. So not a highly touted prospect by any means, and certainly a winnable one-on-one matchup for Leonard Taylor III. We'll play it through. Stack and shed. Brings down Joe Mixon for an easy tackle for loss. So now you're seeing a bit of both dimensions for Leonard Taylor III. We're now through 3 clips, and we've seen him against the run twice and against the pass 4 times. So definitely not the best pass rusher. And he might not be the best run defender either, but he's at least giving you a solid floor as if he's a rotational player or even a heavy rotational player, almost a pseudo starter alongside Quinnen Williams. You're going to see a lot of positives out of Leonard Taylor III. So this 7th clip here we have against the Indianapolis Colts. You're going to see him lined up in the 3 technique again between the tackle and the guard. He's going to have a good slant toward the center on his left shoulder, the center's left shoulder, and he's going to bounce off the block for a good run stop. So when I say defensive linemen are slanting, what I essentially mean is they're just going to slide down a couple gaps. So you'll see him and Bruce Hector slide down a couple gaps, and then on the outside, Will McDonald and Michael Clemens are kind of playing more of a contained rush. So when I say slant, that's all I mean is he's just slanting down a gap or 2 in the front. So we'll play it through here. Slants down to the center, easy bounce off his block. Tackle for loss against Jonathan Taylor. I'll slow it down just so you see exactly what I mean with the slant. You'll see him and Bruce Hector, they're almost going to mirror each other's movements. Their left arm goes up in the air, their left foot slides to their left, and they occupy 1 gap over. And you see Leonard Taylor bounce off the left shoulder of the center, easy tackle for loss. See that? Basically the same motion, hand goes up, slide, 1 gap over, break the block of the center. Jonathan Taylor has nowhere to go. All right. The eighth clip I have, Leonard Taylor is out here in the 4-eye, so inside shoulder of the tackle. Right here, 4-eye. And he's going to do a good job absorbing the double team block, keeping his eyes on Anthony Richardson, putting his hand up into the passing lane on the play action slant to the left side of the screen. And he does a great job batting the ball down, which I think the Jets defensive line needs to do a lot more of, because we've seen them in attacking style fronts where they just pin their ears back and go. And they're not necessarily thinking about stopping the run necessarily, or, reading the quarterback's eyes and getting their hands up in the passing lanes. So this was a good heads up play from Leonard Taylor. We'll play it through. 4-eye over the left tackle. Eats the double team. Good batted down pass. All right. Ninth clip I have, Leonard Taylor. You see him lined up here. He's going to start as a 3 technique, and then he's going to slide over to a 1 technique on this side of the formation. He is going to eat the combo block from the left guard in the center, and he's going to make a good stop one-on-one in the hole against the running back. And I'll play this one through, and then I'll draw it up a little bit more on the back end to show exactly what happened from the offensive line's perspective that led to this play. So Leonard Taylor starts in the 3 technique. Solomon slides him over to the 1 tech. Combo block, he gets off it, makes a great tackle on Tank Bigsby. But when you play it back, and not to take anything away from Leonard Taylor, but the offensive linemen definitely don't do the best job here of blocking it up. You're going to get the left guard work his way up on Leonard Taylor. You're going to see the center work his way up on Leonard Taylor. Then the left guard is going to continue working up to the second level to Jamien Sherwood, and the center is going to peel all the way off and come and try to block Isaiah Oliver. So from what I've learned with offensive line protection and blocking is one of those guys is supposed to stay with Leonard Taylor a little bit longer. I'm not exactly sure who, but I would assume that it's the center's job to climb to the second level and the left guard's job to sustain the block on Leonard Taylor III. I could be wrong. It could be inverted, but I do think one of these guys is supposed to stay with Taylor on the block. So we'll see. You see as they both engage with Leonard here, and then they bounce off, and you already see the center. His eyes are looking straight at 23. This left guard is looking to get off his block. Walker Little is coming straight down on Jamien Sherwood. And that's what also makes me think that this guy, the left guard, I believe that's Brandon Scherf, his job is to stay with Leonard Taylor, because the left tackle is going to occupy Sherwood, center is going to occupy Oliver. That's all your second level defenders on the play side. So to me, I think it's the left guard's fault. They disengage. The center's going towards 23. Left guard and left tackle are going towards Sherwood. And that leaves Leonard Taylor one-on-one in the hole with Tank Bigsby. Almost forces a fumble, too. That ball came a little loose on Tank Bigsby there. But all around, good play from Leonard Taylor III, taking advantage of the O-line miscue, perhaps. Another one from the Jacksonville Jaguars game, you're going to see Leonard Taylor lined up 3 technique between the tackle and the guard again. He's going to have a good win, another left guard center duo block, and he's going to create another run stuff against Travis Etienne. We'll play it through. And with duo, the concept is you basically want 2 double teams against the interior defensive linemen, which they have, but Leonard Taylor does a good job of just winning against the 2 blocks. So you're going to see the center and the left guard, or the center and the right guard, attack Javon Kinlaw with the duo, and then you're going to see the left guard and the left tackle attack Leonard Taylor with the duo. He just does a better job of working through it, getting around it, and getting to Travis Etienne in the hole. Double teams, swims, easy tackle stuff. And this is the encouraging stuff, is that he's doing a lot more in the run game that I noticed. There are obviously some really good pass play clips, but the run defense is what I really tried to focus on, because some say he's not a good run defender. I would argue that he's at least a solid run defender. Maybe he's not starting level run defender material, but behind Quinnen Williams and Derek Nottie, if he's the third best guy that you have against the run defense, I would not be surprised. All right, the 11th clip I have, we'll see Leonard Taylor lined up in the 3 technique against the Los Angeles Rams. He's going to have a good win against the tight end, number 84, to the right side of your screen, across from Hassan Reddick. And to me, this is a weird blocking scheme. I'll draw it up before we show the play, just because I've never seen a blocking scheme like this from an offensive line before. So basically what it's going to be is the tight end is going to loop this way and block. The left tackle is going to come out. The left guard is going to do the same thing. He's going to loop around and block, and he's going to come and almost like a down block. And then on the right side as well, the right guard kicks out, and the left or the right tackle also comes down on a down block. So I've never seen this type of blocking scheme before. I wouldn't even know what to call it. At first, I thought it was like a version of, maybe counter or power, but it's too many moving parts for me to completely identify. But essentially what it leaves is Leonard Taylor III one-on-one with this tight end. And honestly, if Leonard Taylor doesn't win this 9 or 10 out of 10 times, I would be surprised, because he's giving up a lot of weight to the tight end, and he could be a really good blocker. But when you have the power that I believe Leonard Taylor has, you should win this matchup every time. We'll play it through. Tight end versus Leonard Taylor, easy stuff. Tight end goes falling onto the floor. Leonard Taylor with a big tackle for loss on the running back. Another play from the Los Angeles Rams game. This is honestly, I put this in here strictly because this is a hustle play. And maybe this is just Leonard Taylor knowing that it's coming toward the latter portion of his rookie season, and he knows he was a UDFA. And if he doesn't go all out in this last month of football, that he might not be here next year. So absolute hustle play from LT3. He's right here as a 4-eye, excuse me, yeah, 4-eye inside shoulder of the tackle. We'll play it through, but you're just going to see the hustle. He makes a play, a tackle 24 yards downfield on a wide receiver after beating a double team. So just all around effort, hustle play from Leonard Taylor. 4-eye against the tackle. Motion from Puka Nacua. Stafford cans the play. Motion from Cup. Fights through the double team. You're going to see him off screen. Stafford improvising, finds Puka Nacua, and then look at Leonard Taylor III. Just come down and make a mean hit 24 yards downfield. I'll slow it down. Leonard Taylor is all the way at the 35-yard line when Puka Nacua catches it right here. Leonard Taylor is all the way back here, and he's going to essentially make the tackle on Nacua. Obviously, there's other players involved, Chuck Clark, and that awful tackle attempt by Brandon Eccles, but just hustle play from LT3, which makes me really excited that he's going to give maximum effort every single play he's out there for Aaron Glenn and Steve Wilks in 2025. Last 2 clips I have are from the Buffalo Bills 40-0, just bludgeoning of the New York Jets. I don't have any clips against the Miami Dolphins because the Dolphins played a majority of their backups at this point. It was week 18. They weren't playing for anything. Tua was not in the game. But with this clip, you're going to see Leonard Taylor here lined up in the 1 technique. So between the center and the guard. He's going to just have pure power against the center. This is the second time that he has pretty much taken advantage of Connor McGovern, and not the Connor McGovern we had at one point on the Jets, but the other Connor McGovern, the one that came from Dallas, I believe. And you're going to see the pure power against the center, making it easy for him to get a good run stuff against James Cook. We'll play it through here, and then I'll show you the indicator for me that shows that this was an ultimate win for LT3. There is one technique, slides to the other one technique on the right shoulder of the center, powers through, easy run stuff on James Cook. And I'll go back and show you my indicator. So he's on the right shoulder of the center right here. They engage. You can see Leonard Taylor start turning his right arm up like he's going to go to toss the center. And you see McGovern's foot come up off the ground here. That foot is directly suspended in air. And then right here is the indicator to me. When you see the bottom of an offensive lineman's cleat, you know that he is in trouble because he is getting dog walked right back into the center of the pocket. James Cook, doesn't even have the football yet. And Leonard Taylor has already won his one-on-one matchup against McGovern. And then you play it through, and the result is a big run stuff for number 96. So it seems like the Bills were an easier matchup for him on the interior perspective when he lined up against Connor McGovern based on the two clips that I've showed today. The last clip here, we have Leonard Taylor in the 4-eye, so he's on the inside shoulder of the right tackle, Spencer Brown. He's going to do a nice two-handed swipe on the right guard, another quick, easy win to force an incompletion of Josh Allen. We'll play it through. There he is, 4-eye technique, inside shoulder of the tackle. Swipes at the right guard like we saw in a couple clips ago. Gets in Josh Allen's face. You see Josh turn away as he goes to throw it, forcing a nice incomplete pass. So we'll play it through a little bit slower. Again, the right guard shoots with his left hand on Leonard Taylor's, what it looks like his right shoulder. He does a great job swiping his hands off. Although the right guard does a better job recovering and sticking with it than McGovern did last time, it doesn't matter. The power from Leonard Taylor to just rip and dip and get into the backfield. Josh Allen loads up to throw. He's very, very pressured right here. He knows he's going to take a hit. Doesn't have the time to throw it exactly how he wants. Incomplete pass. I don't think even if this ball was thrown well that it would have been a complete pass anyway, but Leonard Taylor III nonetheless makes a disruptive play. So all in all, you see Leonard Taylor doing a lot of good things against the run. You see him doing a lot of good things against the pass. I don't necessarily think he's going to be some all-pro, Pro Bowl caliber player, but I do think that those 14 clips that I showed were a part of the evidence that Aaron Glenn and the rest of the coaching staff evaluated when they watched Leonard Taylor on tape, and that might be why they decided not to attack the defensive tackle position in the NFL draft. Obviously, they took some UDFAs in Fatorma Mulba, who I also did a film breakdown of, and then Peyton Page from Clemson. But honestly, if Derek Nottie and Leonard Taylor III are your second and third defensive tackles behind Quinnen Williams, I don't think that's necessarily the worst case in the world. This isn't a we go as they go scenario with the defensive line anymore. It's we go as they go on the back end. And they're going to play some aggressive man-to-man on the back end and allow for more second-level blitzers like Quincy Williams or Jamian Sherwood, filling in as like a fifth or even a fourth or fifth rusher at times, a blitzer. So Leonard Taylor III, to me, it could be one of those slept-on players. I know Jets fans tend to overrate their players quite a bit, but I would say that Leonard Taylor right now is flying a bit under the radar, and we need to be talking a little bit more about him as a potential key piece in the middle of this defense for Steve Wilks. I hope everybody got a little bit of something, educational out of this video. If there's anybody else that you want me to do in the same style, somebody maybe underrated on the Jets that you think I'm not talking about enough, I will certainly take those feedbacks as well. I appreciate everybody tuning in. I'm Dylan Tareman. Drop a like and a subscribe if you're new, and let's go Jets.